Hello, besties! Welcome to Martinez with Eddie, the ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from all your favorite reality TV shows tonight. I'm excited, you guys. I'm excited. This week has been quite the week for all of us Bravo holics. It's been a roller coaster of feelings. I think more than one has said that they haven't been able to sleep right, thinking about all the drama that is being happening in the Bravo universe. And we are gonna be uh, touching some of this news. Tonight, I'm focusing more on doing my recap as we usually do. We have New Jersey, we have Vanderpump Rules, and we also have the Real Housewives of Miami reunion. Obviously, we are going to touch some of the Scandoval because we have new news from that, and also gonna make some mention about Southern Charm. If you watch Southern Charm, they are filming, and I have little teas to share with you guys. So if you like the Charmers, if you enjoy Southern Charm, stick around. We're gonna be talking about those. um, I want to ask you guys, how you all feeling this week? How you guys are handling? Every single person here is a Bravo holic, and if you are listening, just know that I feel your pain. I'm here with you, and I think we all have been dealing with what a crazy week. I mean, Scandoval took over our lives for the past 6 days now, almost a whole week. We have poor Ariana going through such a tough situation on national TV, and the way that it was revealed, we all know how we feel about that, right? So I'm just going to just start with New Jersey. I think we need something fun to start, and the great part about New Jersey is that they have a set of newbies that are bringing new energy and new life to the show. And I'm excited on how great they are performing so far. I'm gonna say maybe because we are so used to the drama between the main cast, the cast that's been on for a long time. These newbies are shining bright and making me more interested on getting to know them. On this particular episode, start with Danielle preparing her kids for her daughter's birthday, and I just love how extra she is. She has a little confetti cannon going on. She has the the megaphone giving an order. She's like the perfect stage mom. She is kind of like the what's her name? The Kardashians' mom. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I just forgot her name. Uh oh, I'm so embarrassed. I need to find it. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Chris Jenner. I had to Google it, you guys, as I'm talking to you guys. I had to literally Google who is the Kardashians' mom. And I think my pop culture knowledge kind of like failed right now. But, anyways, Danielle is preparing her kids to do an entrance for the party, and we get to see why she is such a great housewife. It's the fact that the way that she's involving her whole entire family um, in some kind of way. I mean, her kids are too young to be in the drama. Her kids are not going to be talking to other housewives in the same level that maybe a Gia gonna do, because Gia is in her 20s, and we will talk about that because As we know, Gia has her own confessional now. But Danielle's daughter, it's a star. I mean, she has a little scene with her dad and her mom when she's talking about the people that she invited to her birthday, and she mentions two kids, two boys, and she said that those are her boyfriend, and that was hysterical. I laughed so hard. Um, on the other hand, we also have uh, Rachel Fuda, who is very, very much a Jersey girl. She's talking to her kid because he's 15 going down the shore, and she's like, yeah, I've been down the shore, I had party down the shore, and I don't want my 15-year-old kid to like be out there. And trust me, we all do that when we are, you know, in like in our teenage years. We go down the shore every summer, every single weekend. We rent houses. That's what we do. And it's so funny when she mentioned that, and she said like, I used to go down the shore and, you know, use and wear the leopard print or whatever, or the, yeah, and just be like super Jersey. It brings so many memories. I'm gonna give props to this season for one reason. I know a lot of people are not so happy with how this season is going because it feels like we are repeating the same topic over and over again, especially the topic of Melissa versus Teresa, and you know, the everlasting uh family feud. But on the other hand, I do believe that this season is bringing more of an individual family take on each housewife. Maybe because they want to make sure that they introduce the new housewife in a way that is fair for them. Um, because we had seen in other franchises that they just throw the newbie into the mix, and we don't know anything about them, and it feels so produce. It feels like, okay, this is a person that is coming into the show. We're gonna throw them into the mix of these women that know each other for a longer time, that they have been working together for a longer time. So obviously the dynamics are already created, and when they toss new people in with a proper introduction to the viewers, it seems unauthentic. It doesn't feel right. And Jersey is doing it in the right way. That's why so many people are agreeing that the newbies are, um, kind of like being the MVPs on pretty much every episode, because we are more invested on getting to know them than kind of like following up the same drama that we've been following for the past 10 years. And we all know I'm not a big Melissa fan. That is obvious. I probably own, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Melissa, but I'm not gonna be biased. I'm not gonna be biased in this case. She had a moment with her daughter where she was, practicing to take her driving test, and I appreciate that. I appreciate when Melissa showcased her motherly side. She reminds me of Kyle sometimes, where I do not like Kyle as a housewife, and I'm not a big fan of Kyle. I mean, I have my feelings, but I always said that Kyle as a mom, that's her best role. And I can see how Melissa Gorga's role as a mom is like her best role. Sometimes I feel like she should focus more or lean on more on that role. Maybe she will be a little more likable. The same thing that I said about Kyle. Like when Kyle plays the producer, it's quite exhausting. But when Kyle is not producing the family, dynamics, because you know that the you know Kyle and her daughters and Mauricio have a great dynamic that they don't need to be produced. They are good at just being a good family. It feels great. I liked it, and I think it's funny. I mean, we all been there when we are trying to learn how to drive, and our parents are sitting in the passenger seat, and those type of moments are, well, as a viewer, I enjoy those moments. It feels relatable, you know. One of the parts also that we saw on that episode was when Teresa and the girls went to the wedding dress shop, and we saw Teresa wearing a dress. It's not the dress she's going to wear on her wedding. She made that clear, obviously, for production purposes. Also, they're not gonna show you the dress before the actual event. Even though we already saw it, we saw it already. It's not gonna be a shocking moment, but I mean, obviously, for production purposes and filming and all this stuff, they're not gonna show you the dress that she's going to wear. She's having a great conversation with her daughters. She said that she invited Joe Gorga, and she doesn't know if he's coming after not showing up to her love bubble housewarming. And Melania said like, if he doesn't shows up, it's done and over. Let's move on. And I mean, it's sad to know that as now we know for a fact that Joe Gorga did not go to Teresa's wedding. I'm not a fan of Joe Gorga. I made that very clear. He is a very immature man. He his mentality is stuck in like Guido vibe from like the early 2000 fist pumping and down in the Jersey Shore, being Juicy Joe. That's great and all. Like I'm here for all of that. I'm trust me. I'm the kind of person who does not advocate for acting your age. I'm going to be 40 in September and I still go out, go to the clubs, have a good time because having a freaking good time has nothing to do how old you are. But there are moments where you should act your age, quote unquote, when when your adult experiences had shaped you into, sometimes you need to swallow your pride, swallow your issues, put it aside, not for the adult in the room, not for Teresa, but for the daughters. He is supposed to be the adult. And the fact that he chose not to go to the housewarming party, that was one sign of lacking of that sense of wisdom. He still has that like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm gonna stay home. I'm like, don't pretend to be the victim when you are invited, and then don't act like she singled you out when she invited you to go. Same thing happened at the wedding. We all know that the big drama with the Gorgas and the Judices right now is the fact that Teresa didn't include Melissa in her wedding party. And we gotta make this clear. A lot of people out there who maybe don't understand the concept of wedding party because for other people means something else. It's not like she wasn't invited to the wedding party. She was invited to the party to be part of it. What she was not part of is the bridesmaids. And that's when a lot of confusion comes to play for some people. I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying some people think that way, and I had to explain that to some of them, so they get the point. This is Teresa's second wedding. I don't think Teresa should feel like she needed to have Melissa as her bridesmaid just because she's married to her brother. You know, it could be a very controversial topic, but that is at the end of the day Teresa's wedding. So for the sake of the family, as they want to talk about in every single episode, I think Gorga needed to swallow his pride and tell his wife to be like, hey, I'm sorry you're not part of the wedding party. This must, my sister sometimes have an issue with you and all this stuff. But let's just go, wish them the best, and do it for the family. You know what you said? Like you gotta put on a happy face, which I don't believe either. I don't believe in pretending. You know, um, I don't believe in pretending. Um, like just to like be in a place. I don't advocate for that. But when it comes to family, sometimes you have to deal with it. Like I've been to family events that I do not want to be part of, or maybe I'm not that close with that family member, and it's just such an annoying situation where you have to like dress up, go to some place, and have like small conversation with people. But that's family at the end of the day. That's what it needed to be done, and I'm really sad that that we know that they didn't go. So I'm sure that now the relationship between the Gorgas and the girls, specifically the girls, is not in a great place. I have a question here from Lauren. Was Joe going to be a groomsman or not? Why are they mad about Melissa? For my understanding, Joe was not going to be a groomsman. Usually, the groomsmen are chosen by the groom. I don't know specifically if he was asked to be a groomsman. I believe he was not. I think Joe Gorga is mad that Melissa was not part of the bridesmaids, uh, because Teresa was the one who, the bride chooses the bridesmaids, and Teresa didn't chose her. So Joe Gorga took it very personally, you know, his family and all this stuff. But that is my understanding. That's what I had gotten from all the articles that I read, and all the sources, quote unquote. We also saw a launch between Jennifer and Melissa, and I'm very confused at this because I was not expecting this type of launch to be going so great between the two of them. They seem to have a good conversation, but Jennifer mentioned Margaret to Melissa. Um, okay, I have a answer here from K Mama, and this is interesting. I kind of knew that this was gonna happen. K Mama just confirmed. She said, Eddie, he was asked by Louis and then found out Melissa was not asked, so he said no. Um, that is the tea right now. I once again I keep saying it. Gorga needs to grow up. Gorga needs to understand that what he's been doing. It's what her and his family. I'm not talking about Teresa because I'm not going to say that Teresa is perfect, but I do feel like for the sake of trying to keep the family together, Teresa seems to have been trying. And don't come for me with the thing like, oh, Melissa is not part of the bridesmaids. Yes, but why is she supposed to be part of the bridesmaids? Like, what is this? Like, this is Teresa's decision to not put her there. We all have watched New Jersey for how long? And all this time we had seen that Melissa and Teresa don't get along. So why was she expecting her to be included in the wedding party? That's all I'm going to say. Because as you guys know, we can go for hours with this wedding situation. And don't worry, there's going to be a wedding special at the end of the season. There's going to be an episode. It's going to be all about the wedding, and we are going to dive into the details of the wedding. Um, I I I I'm gonna go into the launch because there was a comment that I love, and Kane Cordova just mentioned it just now. During the launch, Jennifer mentioned that Margaret has been dropped by many friends, and you guys know that I interview one of those friends, Laura. She's amazing. I love her. She's so kind. I still in talk with her. We have maintained conversation because I said it before on our interview. We grew up in the same areas. We even go to the same restaurant. I saw a photo of her in a restaurant I used to go to when I used to live in Jersey City, and happens to be also one of her favorites. So is I mean Jersey's I mean it's a big state, but when you are from Bergen County, North Jersey, you kind of go to the same places. Um, and we are planning to get together hopefully soon, and have a lunch and stuff like that. Lovely, lovely person. I really, really like her. And as you guys know, I interview her on here on the pod. You can find the interview and listen, because it was a interesting conversation, and the conversation that we had was actually part of the show in some kind of way. She mentioned about the whole, Joe asking Melissa to to drop, Margaret asking her to drop Joe and stuff like that. And now we found out that it is true. Jennifer said to Melissa, Laura told her that she should leave Joe Gorga for a, like a ball player, like a baseball player. And Melissa said, yeah, she has mentioned that many times. Fast forward to a lunch southern hospitality type of lunch. That's what Jess Fessler said. She said that she was inspired by southern comfort food and stuff like that. During that lunch, Margaret said that the only reason why she told that to Jennifer to Melissa was because Melissa reminded her of J Lo, and I would say more like Jay Sheen or J Low Budget. Actually, yes, she said J Low Budget. That's what it is. Um, I mean, like, come on, Melissa is a very, very beautiful lady, but come on, J Lo, more like J Low Budget. Um, yeah, she said that because J Lo has a rod. Um, Melissa could get somebody in a baseball field. I don't know, you guys. If you are telling me that you're telling your friend that she could do better to move on, you're not telling that person to work on their family. So Jennifer is right. The fact that she approached, the fact that she approached, Margaret approached Melissa, no matter the context of the conversation or no matter of the situation, if Melissa was having issues in her household, and the advice that Margaret told her was, knowingly that Melissa and Joe has quote unquote a great marriage. And marriages have ups and downs. We all go through fights. We all go through like really hard times. We all do that. We all been in a relationship when it's not always hunky dory. But if your friend is encouraging you to leave your partner for somebody else because you can do better, I mean, question mark. What do you guys think? I want to know your opinion. If you have an opinion on that topic, please let me know what you think. Because I have my thoughts. I think, Marge is not being a good friend. She's not being a good friend. And Marge, it's working over time trying to hurt other people's happiness, including her own friends' happiness, quote unquote friends. I mentioned that before on a podcast, and I even said that to Laura when she came on the pod. I mean, Margaret gives me the vibe that it's trying to collect bones and use them when it's necessary. And it doesn't matter whose issues, even if it's her own friends. Because allegedly, I say allegedly because I don't want to get a cease and desist letter from Marge because I'm going to be like, send it to Daryl. Marge, send that letter to Daryl. Don't send it to my email. I don't want to wake up in the morning with an email from your lawyer. Send it to Daryl. But yeah, allegedly she started the whole rumor with Evan and Jackie, and she has mentioned, or she allegedly found Melissa with some guy in the back of a limousine. I mean, this is all alleged. I don't know. I haven't seen them. Uh, I'm just trying to share with you what the internet streets are talking. So, based on this information, I do feel like Marge might be the type of person who hold bones to use them no matter who is the one who get hurt. That's just my opinion. Um, but Melissa, I'm gonna share this opinion here because this is important to share both sides. Erin is she likes Marge. She is a Marge fan, and she's share. My opinion is Marge was just trying to be a good friend to Melissa, who was in a low space, and her words are being twisted because Melissa's not bothered, and I respect that. I mean, like I said, my perspective is like maybe Melissa is uh trying to ignore the fact that Mark was giving her the wrong advice and maybe pushing her out of her own, family or whatever. Aaron think that Mark was being a good friend, just trying to like kind of like gas her up a little bit. Giving her compliments, being like, "Hey, you're J Lo." I don't know, J Lo will take that as a compliment, but that's what Marge was trying to do, and I respect both sides. That's what we're here for. We're here to share opinions. Um, we we have to remember one thing. I feel like when it comes down to issues in within the Bravo universe, specifically in the Gorga household, a lot of skeletons are had been kept in the closet, or people ignore that are actually happening outside the outside. Like they're not being mentioned in the media as much. They haven't been covered by other bloggers, which I always look sideways because it seems to me that Melissa and Joe are great at, you know, sweet talking to the bloggers, the big bloggers. So the big issues in her family are never kind of like mentioned by these people. But we know that there has been several lawsuits from constructions and stuff like that. I don't know. Source information. A Something that I kind of caught my eye on this episode was when a producer asked Gia in her confessional if the family was feeling, like they were getting together, they were working things out, but suddenly everything changed. And the producer asked Gia in what moment she felt that unity, fell apart, and when was the last time um, that she felt like a united family. And her answer was, it was right before Louis. What do you guys think? What do you guys? How do you guys take that information? Do you think it was because Louis was trying to get Teresa to step away from her own family, or the fact that Louis was making her happy and maybe Gorga didn't take that in a good way? Maybe It's maybe the fact that she was so happy that she was not going to be easily manipulated. I don't know. I have a feeling, you know, I have a feeling that it could be more towards the second part. But I want you guys to tell me what do you guys think when you guys watched the episode and saw that Gia mentioned Louis as, like, when she was asked when was the last time that she felt united to the family, and she said right before Louis. Do you guys think that the viewers got the idea that Louis is the reason behind it, or maybe the fact that Teresa is being happy and we seen her glow? I mean, we gotta be honest here. We gotta be honest. When you are in a really stressful, sad relationship, that is very, very obvious. No matter how you try to paint it, we had seen it many times in Housewife universe. We saw it happening with Katie and Tom Schwartz. We saw it happening with Lenny and Lisa Hutchinson on Miami, uh, and more will come to mind. But because they try to paint this like, oh, we are fine in our marriage, we have little issues, but we as viewers know that those issues are bigger, right? When I see Louis and Teresa, I mean, I don't see that many red flags. Obviously, there's going to be moments where you kind of like raise your eyebrow, but I haven't had those moments or those feelings watching them build their relationship together. Um, that's just my opinion. So, on my perspective, on my side, I took that as maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna share this because Lauren said something powerful right now. Lauren shares that Lauren just shared Joe is scared of Louis. Could be. Maybe not like fear of like, oh, he's big or not. It doesn't have to be scared of like afraid of him, of his reaction. I feel like he's scared of the fact that he is fulfilling, her sister happiness, and he's scared that he's gonna take her away, and what he's doing is literally pushing him away, pushing her and away, just to like cause more drama in within the family. What is really funny though is that we had seen many times during this season that the only time that Louis has kind of like tell Teresa what to say or how to act or anything in that matter, kind of helping her navigate the moment, is when he want her to work things out with her brother. That's the funniest part. And I'm 100% sure the Gorga watches the episodes, and he will still not admit that he was on the wrong, that he was judging Louis wrong. Because I have the feeling that in Gorga's head, Louis is the reason why Teresa is not talking to him. But maybe, just maybe, Teresa's tired of the family drama. Because we saw that on the previous episode where Louis was literally writing on a book, like, hey, say this, peace between the families. And he was trying to calm her down when Teresa was like almost like exploding. Louis was like, okay, let's calm down or whatever, That's the reality. We saw it with our own eyes. And I know they're gonna try to paint Louis as this like controlling guy, but he's not controlling Teresa for a negative reaction. He's literally trying to help her mind, uh, just help her kind of fix her relationship with her brother. And that's what a partner does. A partner try to like help the other person to work things out with the family. Yeah, they're gonna have to talk about the ugly parts of it because the ugly parts have been pretty much televised, so you can't ignore them. But even with all that, there is a sense of Louis trying to help her reconnect with Joe Gorga. And I want to know when was the last time that Melissa tried to do the same thing. You know, I am obsessed with Jess Fessler. Maybe not on her opinions and takes, but on her comedy kind of sense of humor. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but every time that she says something, it's freaking hysterical. And I have a feeling that she doesn't even realize that she's that funny. And that was make it funny. She had this kind of lunch in her house. And whew, when those ladies sat down on and started to like going at each other was freaking TV gold. I'm here for Jennifer Aydin dragging Margaret for one reason and one reason only. I know they both have said extremely hurtful things, but one thing that really bothers me a lot is the fact that um, Margaret tends to go for horrible accusations. They are extremely damaging, not just for Jennifer, but for viewers as well. She called Jennifer Aydin a drug addict. And I want to talk about that because that comment has many layers. Jennifer Aydin is a mother of young kids, right? When you say something like that on national TV, you are putting a red flag on her back, a target for trolls to go after her for personal decisions and even questioning her mother's skills. And let's not forget that Marge has no sense of family whatsoever because she doesn't have a family herself. We all know that the she has like zero contact with sense of motherhood or anything like that. So for her to be throwing the accusation is completely disgusting, especially because it's sad when somebody is open about um, using pot and marijuana or weed, whatever you want to call it. And we still live in that ignorant mentality that somehow that make you a bad person. And we can't ignore the fact that Margaret was on Watch What Happened Live the same night, admitting that she takes a cocktail of um, weight loss products. I'm not saying the Marge uses any type of illegal drugs. But if you are in the health field, you know that half of those cocktails that people use nowadays for weight loss are not necessarily healthy for your body and actually cause a lot of harm if you don't know how to take them. So I find it very hypocritical of using the term drug addict. I did not like it. I posted it on my Twitter. I said, this household is a green household. And a comment like that perpetuates the stigma that many people have when it comes to marijuana specifically. We're not talking about chemical drugs. We are talking about natural drugs. I laughed though when they were going at it at each other. Jess Fester was like, "Oh my gosh, my neighbors are gonna listen to this. Quiet, blah blah blah. This is not Teresa's house." And Teresa, without skipping a bit, well, I have 6 acres of land. What do you have? Kind of like, come on, like don't try to like drag me into this. Like, what's that about? She was like, my land is bigger than yours. Like, there's no neighbors that can listen to our fight. So like, sit down. That was really funny. That was that was a shade was very subtle. Not that many people caught it. Not that many people caught that moment, but I was laughing my ass off because Jess Fessler tried it, but Teresa was real quick. Teresa was real quick to be like, "No, bitch, you're not trying it today with me." That was really funny. At the end of the episode, we got a little moment um with Danielle at her party, and we saw Rachel Fuda kind of interacting with Jennifer, which I appreciate that they were able to put aside their issues because they are at a kids party. Also, we saw a moment with Rachel and Jen's daughter, where she said that she wanted to be a therapist for the couples and help them to like rekindle the love. That was so sweet. That's the sweetest thing. Like, girl is so cute. I'm excited, like I mentioned before, how these newbies are finding their way into the mess without feeling unauthentic and out of place. That is definitely my take on this episode. Like, we are watching newbies blossom without feeling unauthentic and overshadowing some of the old cast, to be honest. Now you know why Jackie didn't get that full-time position. I still don't believe that she left the show on her own term as a full-time. I think she was demoted and she's trying to paint it like, oh no, it was my personal journey. I'm like, sure, bitch. um, let's let's talk about um Vanderpump Rules a little bit because we have been talking about it this whole entire week, and I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of exhausted. There were a few moments that I want to highlight. The moment when Ariana was shopping with Raquel. That moment, I honestly felt so bad for Ariana because you can tell that she is a true friend. She knows that nobody in that group wanted Raquel to be involved in anything. Actually, listeners, remember, Raquel's real name is Rachel, and I'm going to address her from now on as Rachel. Every time that I have a Vanderpump Rules um, recap, I'm gonna make this announcement because I don't want to get people confused. Raquel's real name is Rachel. And in this household, we call her by her real name because she's no star. You know, she doesn't have a stage name because she's not even part of the stage anymore. So Rachel was shopping for bikinis for Las Vegas because the girls were going, and you know Ariana was being awesome enough to deal with her and her nonsense. And in one of the confessionals, she said, like, we've been encouraging Rachel, get out of there, make mistakes, go crazy. But then when she said that she asked Swartz to make out with her, it's like, okay, but not like that. And trust me, Rachel took make mistake way too literal because then she made the mistake to, starting fucking Ariana's boyfriend. How low? I mean, that's watching this episode remind me of why I cannot and will not forget um, Rachel and Sandoval because it showcased how much Ariana was invested in this friendship with this Bambi Eye girl and how much she was going through that Sandoval did not care. We saw on this episode the moment that I call one of the worst moments that you can go through, which is losing a pet. I have 3 dogs. And the day that I have to say goodbye to one of them, trust me, they're gonna have to put me in a freaking crazy home because I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. I'm just making it a public announcement right now. If that happened, the day that happened, when I have to say goodbye to one of my dogs, I told my family call 911 immediately because I either gonna have a heart attack or send me to a freaking asylum because I'm not gonna be able to come out of it real quick. So seeing Ariana going through the loss of her dog that's been with her for 18 years. She even said it's the longest relationship she has had, even longer than Sandoval. And she trusted the pup to Sandoval going to Vegas, and she knew that it might be the last time because she said like it's going up and down having scissors and all this stuff. And if you add the timeline of Sandoval and Rachel fucking, they were fucking while this was happening. That's how low of a trash these people are. The fact that he goes on TV and pretends that he cares for Ariana and all this stuff while he's banging this other girl. Like fucking disgusting. I mean, I don't want to get upset, so let's move on from that part because we're gonna have to talk about Scandoval for like a hot minute after this. Um, James met with his mom. His mom is a character. I love her. I like the James respects his mom sobriety. I think it's very important to highlight that part of James. Like he might not be sober, maybe that's not his journey right now, but he respects his mom's journey. We saw him ordering non-alcoholic drinks when they met, and his mom was, funny as usual. She was telling like she wasn't so sold with Rachel because James met her at a party or like out while he was DJing. Funny part is that Ali met uh, James the same way too. So she was just quiet. She was just quiet. I love it. Um, Christina, on the other hand, she said something very very true, and I think she's the first one who has said it. And this is before all the drama. She said that she was not falling for Rachel's sweet innocent act. She saw through her bullshit from the beginning. She was like, this girl is pretending to be too sweet, too nice, too innocent. Something is off. This is an act. She called it. She called it. And I hope she gets to throw down her face at the reunion because that's gonna be interesting to watch. There was a moment when Lala pulled out a Swords Piñata in Vegas, and all I want is for Lala to bring a Sandoval and a Rachel Piñata to the reunion and end the reunion like that, like hitting the piñatas. Like at the end of each reunion, they like do a toast or something, like they bring a drink and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to bring the piñatas out and they start just like hitting the piñata, and that would be a really funny way to end the reunion. So bravo if you're listening. That you should do. You should like capitalize on the piñata. Bring Sandoval and Rachel's piñata out, and everybody start hitting the piñata. While in Vegas, they meet Oliver. For those who don't know, Oliver is the Queen Garcelle's son. And we are confused at one part of the information. He keeps saying that he was separating from his then wife. But then the wife was saying that they were not separating. I need to read an article because I think it just came out uh, after the episode. But my understanding is that he was separating, and that's what his story is. But his wife, like, no, you're lying. We were still together. You were cheating on me for TV time. So I want to know your opinion. I want to know what you think. Was Oliver still together with his wife and he was using this as an opportunity to get himself on TV, or he was separating and he was allowed to do what he wanted, and maybe the wife was like, you're not gonna use this right now. I'm gonna get involved in the drama. I'm gonna get also my spotlight. I want to know your opinion. The thing is, this episode, Lala was send the signals to Oliver, like, I'm into you, like, let's go, what's up, what's good. Funny thing is, the one who end up making out with him is Rachel. And if Oliver was not separating at that point, Rachel has been involved with more than one man who was either married or on the process of getting divorced from a long marriage. And I don't know if that's a pattern. I don't know if that's something that she is into. But girl needs to stop dating guys that are or were in a long relationship. I just want to say that. Like, there's plenty men out there in LA that are not married or just going through a divorce. I always tell people this. If you are going to start dating somebody who's going through a divorce, make sure to ask for the divorce papers beforehand. Make sure that the ink on that paper is dry. Because if it's not dry, they still are involved with the other person. If that person is still not divorced completely, even if they are in the process, quote unquote, we are in the process of separating or in the process of divorce. I always tell people, tell them, we'll wait until you are fully divorced. We wait until the ink on that paper is dry and then we start fucking. Because then you become a home wrecker, even though the home is already wrecked. And I always tell people, you can wreck a home that is already cracked. A home with a cracked foundation is meant to fall apart, but you don't want to be part of that problem. That shouldn't be your baggage. That's not how you should start a new relationship. You start fresh when the ink on that paper is dry. That's my advice. And that's how the episode ends. That night we have Lisa Vanderpump on Watch What Happened Live, and you all know that Lisa Vanderpump is my ultimate queen of Beverly Hills. She's my favorite person on Bravo. I mean, I've been a fan of pretty much every single Housewife franchise, but Beverly Hills got me kind of like hooked. That's I mean, the chokehold the season one has on me because Vanderpump made Beverly Hills. So having her back on the Clubhouse was a delight. It was a gift that we got out of all this drama. If anything good came out of this drama, the whole scandal, obviously the gift really is Ariana being able to move on from that buffon, from that clown. The fact that she's able to restart her life without having to deal with a man child with the mentality of a teenager and the fashion sense of a 70 porn star. The other good thing that we got from this Scandoval situation is having Lisa Vanderpump back in the Clubhouse. Because the way that she showed up, she came on delivering lines, delivering jokes. Some people are complaining about the dumbest shit, and I have to call them out because some people are quick to say that she was throwing jabs at Lisa, Rena, and Kyle. But let's not forget that Lisa, Rena, and Kyle has been many times on Watch What Happened Live doing the damn thing, and these clowns were not saying anything. Quiet. Clowns were quiet while while Lisa, Rena, and Kyle were throwing jobs at Lisa Vanderpump. So for the very first time, she's invited back, or she was back because she didn't need to be invited because the invitation was open for many times. But she came this time by herself. She handled the whole show by herself, and she did a great, great job. So obviously, those anti-LVP accounts, they call themselves, I would say, Bravo historians or whatever they want to call themselves, throwing jobs at LVP because she said one or two jokes about Rena and Kyle. I want to know where the outrage was when Lisa Rena was mocking Lisa Vanderpump's brother's death. I want to know where they were. What was this outrage? Or when these people were making fun of uh, like dumb shit, like, oh, she smelled like garlic and stuff like that. We've seen this happening many times, and none of these people say a damn thing. So they need to sit down. Yeah, I'm passionate about Vanderpump. One thing that I'm going to highlight is the fact that um, the New York Times and CNN were talking about um, Scandoval, and that is quite iconic if you ask me. The fact that this show made its way into mainstream media, where many people were saying, yeah, people are talking about Scandoval, but we don't know what that is, but we're gonna report about it because it seems to be what is causing this hype all across the country. That is huge. That is huge. Also during the after show, Lisa shared a story that she ran into Lisa Rena in Paris while she was there. She met with Sutton, and I believe the person who arranged this meeting was Garcelle because she didn't say Garcelle on the show. She said a friend in common. I think that friend in common is Garcelle. She met Sutton in Paris. Funny thing, she said the first person that she saw when she arrived in Paris at the hotel was Lisa Rena and Uh, Andy was like, "Did you guys have a good time? Did you guys laugh? Did you guys got the opportunity to share words?" She's like, "No, plain and simple, no." Um, and also we gotta remember that Lisa Vanderpump has a very British humor, and I love it. Some people don't like it. Some people think it's mean, but it's just British humor. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Obviously, with the Scandoval situation, we had seen some development. We saw Sandoval apologizing to Ariana. Then Rachel apologized to Ariana, which we don't. I mean, we don't care about these apologies. It seems a PR stunt as usual. Then we also found out about the black eye um, and Rachel allegedly got punched by Sheena, and she filed a restraining order against Sheena, and Sheena has come out and said that it's a lie. Some photos are going around the internet where it seems like this black eye happened before the trip, and she's using it. Like maybe it was not a black eye, but maybe some bruising in her face. Then also, it seems like many people are speaking out defending Sheena, are close friends of both sides, kind of like saying that Rachel might be lying. We will find out maybe at the reunion or not. We will figure it out. Also, we gotta think about the fact that this restraining order might affect the reunion because um, they are filming the reunion in 2 weeks, and I'm hoping the production is smart enough to jump a loophole or push the reunion because we need to have both of them present. And if you ask me, it feels like this woman, Rachel, is trying to find ways to not be part of the reunion. That's just my feeling. I feel like she's trying to come up with any idea for her not to be present and not take accountability and be dragged on national TV because no matter what she says, no matter what she says, it's gonna excuse what she has done and what Sandoval has done too. In good news, Ariana is back to Instagram. She hasn't posted anything. Her last post has come off, but people are commenting in previous photos just to welcome her back and showing her love. Go ahead and show her some love. She needs all of us who love her to show her our support and our love. They they were shooting last night, all the girls, and there is a photo of all of them together with Ariana, Charlie, Sheena, Katie, Lala. They were out at a restaurant last night, and they look happy and they look like they are a strong front and a rock for Ariana, and I'm loving that. Woo! So many news, you guys. We have a lot. We have a lot to share here. Let's talk about the reunion now. Let's talk about Miami's reunion because, as we know, Miami came to an end last week, and today Peacock released the first part of the reunion. The reunion is crazy, you guys. If you guys are not watching Miami, you are missing out. This show is truly one of the best housewife franchise ever. I'm gonna tell you why. It's delivering everything that we need, including a very explosive reunion from the beginning. They are not holding back. They're not like sitting there and waiting for something to happen. No, they are delivering. They are doing everything the most franchises wish they could do. And they doing it looking damn good because those women know how to dress. They all look absolutely stunning in that reunion. I have one complaint, and I think a lot of people have complained about this. Those couches are way too small. Like they look like they are in a little like tuna can. Like we need some space. Um, Bravo or Pika, you need to invest in a bigger freaking couch because those ladies were literally sitting on top of each other. Like, come on. If you had the money to put a whole set, you can definitely go to like I don't know Ethan Allen or whatever furniture store that you use and get some bigger furniture. I don't know. We also found out that Lisa still Lisa Hostin still does the grocery for Lenny because her kids. But honestly, like this man is taking so much advantage of her because how dare him even eat the food that Lisa is getting for the kids? He should be doing his own grocery shopping. I don't care what he says. I don't care that that oh I have to buy it because my kids like strawberries and and creamy peanut butter. I'm like, well, get it for your kids. The other one can go himself to get his goddamn strawberries too on his own. The same way that he went out and found himself a lip licking lizard of a girlfriend. Same to the store. He can go in his little car after work and pick up his groceries at the his favorite grocery of his choice. I think everybody on that stage was like, okay, like why are you doing that? Like you need to stop. Everybody. When Andy asked Lisa if she kind of knew or why Lenny, knowing that he was doing all this stuff, agreed to film. And she said that after they were going through these fights and divorce and whatnot, he told her that he was going to wait right after the the show was done filming to to go ahead and start the divorce process. Is this like the new this? I mean, this is like the new Bravo Peacock housewife thing or like Bravo couples because we've seen this before. We've seen the same excuse when they're like, oh, let's wait until after the reunion. Let's wait after the show wraps to like go and get a divorce. We just saw it happen on Atlanta where Drew and Raw were like rushing like an Olympic marathon to the court to see which one was the one filing for divorce first after they were wrapped filming. Obviously, I don't know if they're trying to avoid to get any accountability on the show. What I don't know what they're trying to do, but it's true. Like Lenny went from like pretending to care in one episode to literally dropping the whole family on the next one. It was like quick, like intense. I'm just happy that Lisa found a new man, and I don't know about you guys, but I find him more attractive than Lenny. He seems supportive of Lisa. He was at the reunion. He was backstage, uh, talking to her, kind of like hyping her up. While she was getting ready to go out to the stage. I like him, and I hope that they do have like a great relationship. Lisa deserved it. She went through so much shit because that gnome looking person. I'm here for Lisa. I'm hyping her up, and I hope she does well and she comes back stronger for next season. For those who haven't gotten the news, um, Miami starts filming in April. So next month, towards the end of the month. So they're gonna go into it next month, you guys. So we are being blessed with housewife content for a very long time. Also, as usual, Marisol made an entrance with a megaphone, a glitter Swarovski embellished megaphone. I know people don't like her much, or people has a lot to say about Marisol. I like her. I like Marisol. The thing is, like, I like Alexia too, and Alexia maybe this season has been a little disappointing in some situations. I can't admit when my favorite person it's just not having a good season. Alexia said a couple of stuff that I don't agree. Uh, and the reunion, it's been quite rough for her right now. I feel like a lot of people are expecting her to apologize, and she's not apologizing. And they're gonna write that story, I guess, until next season. But I like Marisol. I like Alexia. When I met them at BravoCon, they were the sweetest people, and I'm a ride or die for them. I know, but I'm not going to pretend that they haven't done some questionable comments. Uh, I I just feel like, and this is just come from my Hispanic background. A lot of their commentaries and a lot of their mentality come from generational trauma or from cultural behaviors. Um, Sometimes might they might come out wrong, and I'm not defending this because I'm one of those people who don't like when we use some excuse. Oh, my family treat me this way, so I'm gonna treat you that way. No, um, I'm just saying that it's very typical in old school Hispanic mentality to say stuff like the way that Alexia is treating, uh, Julia or Nicole, and the way that she's reacting to comments, and the way that she is trying her best to paint herself as this star of this like perfect persona. That is pretty much the way that a lot of people in the Latin Hispanic community are brought up to believe. So I'm not excusing their behavior. I'm just seeing it from a different perspective. Um, One thing that I found really hysterical though is the fact that Andy was trying to explain to them how everybody on that stage is just a little bit narcissistic, and Adriana had the definition, the the book definition of narcissism, and obviously that word it's heavy and it has a lot of meaning and stuff like that. But we gotta be honest. If you are on a reality TV show, you have a sense of being narcissistic. I mean, it doesn't have to be like you only are, trying to use other people for your own benefit and all this stuff, or never apologizing. No, no, I'm just talking about the fact that narcissistic behavior is the need of attention, thinking that you deserve that attention. And if you are on reality TV show, just a little bit in your mind, it's narcissistic. It will be a lie. It will be a lie if I will say like maybe I'm narcissistic too because I'm here sitting in front of you guys sharing my opinion as if my opinion was the only one that matters. You know, a lot of podcasters think that way. And that's why I always open the live chat and I want people to come on the chat and I always read the comments that are right here. Do I agree with everything? No. But that's part of the beauty of Bravo, that we are going to agree, we are going to disagree, but we are all going to have a good time watching our favorite shows. The reunion, though, this reunion has been wild, 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 wild. And he ended with a comment from Alexia, oh gosh, to to Lisa, which I'm a little bit. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for next week because I don't want to create this idea that I was really out of touch. But when she was talking about being a star and being confident and having self confidence, she looked at Lisa and said, because Lisa said something to her, trying to make her like calm down and like realize what she was saying. And Alexis said, "Yeah, if you thought that way, maybe you wouldn't allow Lenny to, to treat you the way that he treated you for this long." And I'm thinking to myself, holy fucking shit, no, please don't say that. You know, the way that he ended was cringy. Like I was cringing for Alexia, and I was like, oh my gosh, don't compare that to what Lisa's going through because, we had this conversation when Adriana tried to compare her toenail or whatever she broke to Alexia's accident. So I mean to Frankie's accident. So fast forward to now, Alexia comparing or trying to say, if you had confidence the way that I do, you wouldn't allow Lenny to use you that way or whatever. I'm like, no, no. So I'm going to reserve my comment on that topic until next week because that was kind of like a cliffhanger. The way that Lisa was looking at Alexia, she was about to jump across the couch and drag Alexia by her blonde hair across the stage. She was not happy, and I'm just hoping that there is an explanation or there is a conversation where Alexia kind of backtrack or apologizes or something because she has been a great friend to Lisa for her to say something like that. So I'm just hoping here to, hoping for the best. So yes, you guys, as you guys know, the Bravo universe is crazy. We also got some news. We got news from Southern Charm. I'm just gonna quickly just go over. I'm not gonna take much of your time, but Southern Charm. There's rumors of Taylor and Austin hooking up. If you guys don't know, Taylor was dating Shep. Shep allegedly, I don't know, cheated or tried to make a move on a Southern Hospitality um, cast member. We saw that if you watch Southern Hospitality, you saw that at the end. But now we found out that Taylor, or allegedly Taylor, hooked up with Austin, who was dating one of Taylor's friends, Olivia. So this is like a whole mess. And they are filming. They are right now as we speak in a cast trip out in Jamaica, and it seems like everybody's having a good time. So there is a lot. I mean, if you watch Southern Charm, if you watch Southern Charm, be ready for a season that is gonna take you back to season one, where it was chaotic. And I'm here for it because I love Southern Charm. And I actually, I mentioned it before, I've been rewatching the previous season because I'm bored with my life. No, because there's nothing else to like. For me, there's no other show to rewatch. I usually tend to rewatch shows that are filming, so I'm ready to recap and talk about the shows when they air. So I've been doing a kind of a rewatch of previous seasons. I started from season one. I'm on season five right now, and oh my gosh, it reminded me why I fell in love with that show and why I don't like half of the cast, especially the men. I don't like the men of that show. Um, I always say that Austin remind me of a Muppet, a 6'5" Muppet, and I'm excited for them to come back. I'm excited. That's one of the news. We also got today Peacock revealed the photos for the cast of Real Housewives or Ultimate Girls Trip 3. The individual photos, they all look beautiful. I'm excited. Remember that that's coming out this month after the end of Miami. So as soon Miami ends, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 3 starts on Peacock, and you know that I'll be recapping it as we always do every week. So that is it, you guys. Oh, the Girls of Beverly Hills are in Vegas, by the way. They also filming a cast trip in Vegas. Um, the girls took a photo yesterday when at the airport when they were taking the private jet. And also today, Garcelle and Sutton posted a photo from their hotel room that happens that they are roommates. And if you have Instagram, you have to go and check the comments because I love their friendship. I know uh, people tend to say that Sutton and Garcelle have an alliance, that they're not real friends, but you cannot fake a friendship that deep. You cannot fake true connections, and that's what Sutton and Garcelle have. If you have Instagram, go check Garcelle's and Sutton's Instagram on the photos of their trip to Vegas when they are having a good time in their room, and read the comments from each other. They actually comment on each other's posts. It's hysterical. Um, that's that. So you have it. There you have it, you guys. I am really looking forward to what is next in the Bravo universe. I'm excited. The uh, Scandoval is kind of like dying out just a tiny bit. Oh, before I go, yes, allegedly Rachel and Tom are not an item anymore because Rachel broke up with Sandoval because she needs time to heal. And I'm like, stop acting like a victim. You're not the victim. And just like that, you guys, we end an episode today. Thank you so much for, coming here. As you always know, I always ask you guys, to please go to my podcast, subscribe on your favorite platform, and leave a rate. Rate the podcast because ratings is what make our podcast survive. You know. Also, if you are enjoying this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. If you want that little extra tea, you can always go on Twitter or Instagram. You can find me as Martini with Eddie. I also have my own website, martiniswitheddie.com. So with that said, besties, it's a night tonight. Hopefully I'll have a guest tomorrow. So there's more tea, there's more talk, there's more Bravo. And like I always say, besties, bye, besties.